started yesterday. To obtain a sense of whether or if this is the real thing, I have looked at as many reliable sources as I could. Is this the point at which the market cycle is about to enter its final phase, where Bitcoin makes its final parabolic run, Ethereum emerges, altcoins like XRP follow, and so on? And what I keep seeing is a lot of chart analysts with excellent track records who actually agree with the speech that Fed Chair Jerome Powell gave yesterday morning, which set the market on fire in a positive way. Many analysts firmly believe that this is what the markets were waiting for, and that's because there's a broad expectation that the Fed will lower the federal funds rate in a series of ways. Therefore, many analysts predict that the initial cut will be 25 basis points, followed by another 25 basis points, and so on. Hence, a 75% drop in total before they might decide to halt that trend. Without a doubt, that is what the market desires. The market desires that. You witnessed what transpired, didn't you? Such as yesterday when the S&P 500 reached a fresh all-time high following this news. Following this news, the Dow Jones reached a new all-time high yesterday. The Nasdaq 100 reached a record high. The same tale, most significantly, really significantly, the Russell 2000 was released yesterday. It was up about 3.84%, I believe. Well, it wasn't a new high, but it was the largest gainer of the indexes I just mentioned. And that is very important because it indicates that market participants have a greater appetite for risk. And since they are moving farther out the risk curve into tiny caps, market participants who have that kind of greater appetite for stocks are also the ones that are investing in cryptocurrencies. Yes, the DNA is identical and the humans are the same. Therefore, if you have two asset classes and you are more risk tolerant, you are also more risk tolerant when it comes to cryptocurrency. That has therefore been the case historically. This is the reason it's such a huge deal. Ethereum then reached a new all-time high yesterday, and it is currently trading just below it. However, in the past, that has triggered the alt season. Are all these things visible to you? Yes. Additionally, a Binance cryptocurrency set a new record high for us. By the way, believe me when I say that this market is really clear. It is ideally situated for an extended run. And I'll share with you the opinions of other XRP chart analysts. One of them believes that it's very likely that we'll see 13 in the near future. We can also arrive there really quickly. For example, things move swiftly when the market reaches the final phases. Therefore, the notion that XRP will reach 13 sooner rather than later is not irrational, especially in light of historical precedent. Before continuing, though, I would like to clarify that I have no financial history. I'm not giving financial guidance. Furthermore, nothing I say or write should influence you to buy or sell anything. I'm merely a hobbyist who likes to create YouTube videos about crypto-related subjects for enjoyment. My time zone is 6 and 9 a.m. Central Time, which is when I record this video. Thus, the date is Saturday, August 23, 2025. XRP has dropped 3.3 from its in the 24-hour low at this time. In fact, it remains at a 24-hour low of 2.78. After rising to just over $117,000 yesterday, you bought Bitcoin for $115,347. A 24-hour low of $111,825 occurred right before Jerome Powell's speech. Additionally, he has undoubtedly altered his mind. As if the markets had ended, I can't recall the current cent. It leaped up sharply. Given that the Fed will be lowering rates in September, I believe that expectations have risen to around 90%. And it's funny how everything actually works, as I always say, because it's true, like the market. It is undeniably true that history often repeats itself when it comes to markets, and you can observe how everything just so happens to be falling into place in such a way that historically it always has the big P, the expensive items, that you would watch it play out exactly the same way again. Therefore, the question is more about how high and more about when than whether. You are aware that they are legitimate question marks, but will it really be coming to pass in front of you right now? Zoom, a chart analyst, made a lengthy post yesterday night titled, "Everything Season is Here." As those who have followed me for some time know, I hardly ever talk like this, and it's accurate. In fact, this is the most unusual thing I've ever heard him say. Well, if there's ever a moment when saying something like this is appropriate, now is it. Yes, the long season has here. You see, this has happened previously. In 2017, I experienced my first one. There existed a limited period in 2017, say 30 or 60 days, during which you were not allowed to purchase the incorrect item. You just couldn't lose money with cryptocurrency if that was your goal. It was not feasible. Like whatever you purchased, it was supposed to last until, of course, not too long in the future. That was no longer the case, and it would also occur here. It will therefore be enjoyable. It will be thrilling. Everything is going to be going up, so everyone will feel like they know a financial genius. That being said, you should realize that you are not a financial genius just because the market is euphoric. You see, it's just by chance. It's fantastic for us. It might change your life. Well, but don't assume that it will continue to do that indefinitely. Well, here is a post by Crypto Michael. Bears will be mercilessly destroyed in the upcoming weeks, he declared. In order to avoid being left out of the next leg up in the greatest bull run in history, panic sellers will have to buy back higher. Oh yes. And that's what always occurs. This is the reason why those that put a lot of effort into their portfolios and believe they are smarter do so. They understand, oh, the market's going to go down because look what I saw on the charts and I'm a regular guy. But I know what's going to happen. After that, they are marginalized. I simply feel that the tension isn't worth it. It simply isn't. When it comes to stock market and cryptocurrency investing, the best approach is to buy, gain wide exposure, and then do nothing. Yes, exactly. Absolutely nothing. Spend 100 on my course. I don't have anything to offer. However, I don't actually have a course. But I don't have a course because of this. To become really wealthy with cryptocurrency, you don't require a course. Get a lot of exposure. Pay attention to utility coins. Big caps make the most sense because they indicate that the market believes that's what makes the most sense. They seem to be ranking the items that make the most sense to you, don't they? In general, those are the coins that have undergone the greatest testing and are the most reliable. It's obvious as if the work has already been completed for you. You simply purchase those, then wait as long it takes to receive the wealth that will change your life. As in, there you go. Not too complicated. It's not difficult. It's not difficult. Pay attention to this. You're looking for another indicator that has traditionally shown that, well, we're going to have that all season. This represents the market capitalization of Bitcoin as a percentage. This year, we are at a low point. Take a look at this, 58.43% lower, breaking down following years of upward trending, literally moving upward since 2022 and now collapsing at the moment you would anticipate and hope would from a historical standpoint. For example, not that long ago, Bitcoin was up as much as it is now. In June, it was up almost 66%. It was in the vicinity. It has now dropped to 58.43%. And if history is to be believed, this will simply keep falling down like rock and altcoins will. Therefore, we would like to see that continue. And I'm not telling you as if I knew exactly what's going on. My argument is supported by historical precedents and the fact that everything is falling into place. If you believe that a different result is more likely, that would be strange.